The woman's lips were moving, but the words weren't rising. Padre Pio saw them form in the air above her mouth, visible, solid, each syllable taking shape, but they hung there, suspended, like stones too heavy to lift. The woman knelt in the back pew, hands clasped, eyes closed, praying, unaware that nothing she said was reaching higher than her head. Pio watched from the altar. He'd been arranging candles when he noticed her. The words formed, hovered, then fell, straight down, dissolving before they hit the floor. Every single one. He approached quietly, stood a few pews away. The woman was praying the Rosary. Her fingers moved through the beads. Her lips formed each Hail Mary. But above her head, the prayers accumulated. A cloud of words that wouldn't rise. Something was blocking them. Pio looked up, toward the ceiling, toward where the prayers should have been going. And he saw it. A presence. Not visible, but felt, pressing down on the words, keeping them from ascending. Heavy, deliberate, intentional. The woman finished her Rosary, crossed herself, opened her eyes, stood to leave. "Excuse me," Pio said. She turned, startled. "Yes, Father, may I speak with you?" "Of course." They sat. The woman looked nervous. Mid-30s, thin, dark circles under her eyes. "What brings you here today?" Pio asked. "I come every day, to pray." "For what?" "For my daughter. She's been sick for 6 months. The doctors can't find anything wrong, but she's getting worse. Tell me about her illness." The woman's voice broke. "She stopped eating 3 months ago, just refused. She's lost so much weight. She doesn't sleep. When she does, she wakes up screaming. The doctors did every test. Blood work, scans, everything. They say she's fine, but she's not fine. She's dying. And you pray for healing." "Yes. Every day, multiple times. The Rosary, novenas. I've said every prayer I know. I've been to 3 different churches. I've asked every priest to bless her. Nothing works. Nothing changes." Pio nodded slowly. "Do you feel your prayers are heard?" The woman's face changed. "No, I don't. I feel like I'm shouting into a void, like my words go nowhere." "Why do you keep praying then?" "Because what else can I do? She's my daughter. I have to do something, even if it feels useless." Pio looked at her carefully. "What's your name?" "Maria." "Maria, can I ask you something strange?" "Yes. When you pray, do you ever feel resistance?" Maria's eyes widened. "Yes." "How did you know?" "Tell me." "It feels like something is pushing back, like my prayers hit a wall and fall back down. I thought I was imagining it. I thought it was my faith that was weak." "You're not imagining it, and your faith isn't weak." "Then what is it?" "Something is blocking your prayers." Maria went pale. "Blocking them? How is that possible? Do you know what's in your house?" "What do you mean?" "Your daughter's illness. The doctors can't find a cause. Your prayers feel blocked. These things are connected." Maria's hands started shaking. "Father, are you saying something is attacking my daughter?" "I'm saying something is in your home, and it's preventing your prayers from being heard. Not because God refuses to listen, but because something is stopping your words from reaching him." "What can I do?" "Change how you pray." "I don't understand." "The prayers you're using can be blocked, but there's one prayer that can't be." "Which one?" Pio leaned forward. "The name of Jesus. Spoken directly, not in a formula, not in a memorized prayer, just his name, with everything you have." "That's it?" "That's everything." Maria looked confused. "But I say his name in the Rosary. I say it in the Our Father. You mention his name. That's different from calling him." "I don't understand the difference." "When you mention someone in a sentence, you're speaking about them. When you call someone by name, you're speaking to them, directly, personally. And that directness cannot be intercepted." Maria came back the next day. Pio saw her enter. Same pew, same posture. But this time, she wasn't praying the Rosary. Her lips moved. One word, over and over. "Jesus." And the word rose. Not floating, not drifting, shooting upward, like it was pulled by something stronger than what was pushing down. Pio watched. Each time she said the name, it pierced through the resistance, through the presence that had been blocking her prayers. The presence pushed back, harder. The air above her grew darker, denser, but it couldn't stop the name. The name went through it, every single time. After 10 minutes, Maria opened her eyes, looked around. Her face was different, lighter. Pio approached. "Did you feel the difference?" he asked. Maria nodded, tears in her eyes. "Yes. It's like something broke. Like a door that was locked suddenly opened. Something did break." "Keep praying like that. Every day. Don't stop. Just his name. Just his name. Nothing else." When you feel resistance, speak it louder, with more intention. It will break through. And my daughter, go home, pray over her, not the rosary, not a novena, just speak his name, in her room, over her bed, wherever you feel the heaviest presence. Maria left, but Pio could see something had changed in her. The desperation was still there, but now there was something else, hope. But Pio noticed something no one else noticed. Over the next week, more people came, different people, but the same problem. A woman praying for her husband. Her prayers hung in the air, blocked. A man praying for forgiveness. His words fell before they rose. An elderly woman praying for her dead son. Her prayers accumulated above her head, going nowhere. All of them blocked, all of them frustrated, all of them feeling unheard. Pio started watching more carefully, observing not just what they prayed but how their prayers moved. And he realized, the blocking wasn't random. It happened to specific people. People who were under attack, who had something in their homes, in their lives, something that didn't want them reaching God. The prayers themselves weren't weak, they were being actively stopped. The Rosary, the Our Father, even the Hail Mary, all could be blocked, all could be intercepted, all could be pushed down, except one thing, the name. When someone spoke the name of Jesus, directly, intentionally, personally, it cut through everything. Pio started teaching people, one by one. He'd approach them after Massachusetts. Your prayers are being blocked. How do you know? Because I can see them. They're not rising. Some people thought he was mad, walked away, but others listened. What do I do? Say his name, nothing else. Just his name, with everything in you. Don't recite a prayer. Don't add words around it. Just call him. Some believed him. Some tried it skeptically, but those who tried it came back changed. It worked. The resistance is gone. I can feel it now. I'm being heard. One man came back and said, Father, I've been praying for 10 years for my son to return home. He left when he was 16. I've said 1,000 rosaries. 1,000 Our Fathers. Nothing. But I prayed like you said, just his name, for 3 days. And my son called me yesterday. He's coming home. Pio nodded. Because your prayers finally reached where they were supposed to go. Maria came to see him 2 weeks later. Father, my daughter is better. Tell me. 3 days after I started praying like you said, she sat up in bed. For the first time in weeks. She asked for water, then food. I thought it was temporary, but it kept improving. A week later, she was eating full meals. Now she's walking, playing. The doctors can't explain it. They're calling it spontaneous recovery. You don't need them to explain it. But Father, why? Why does saying his name work when nothing else did? Pio thought carefully. Because a name is not a formula. It's a person. When you say his name, you're not reciting words. You're calling someone. And he always answers when called directly. But I was calling him before. In the Rosary. In the novenas. You were speaking about him. Asking him for things through formal prayers. There's a difference between that and calling him directly. I don't understand. When you pray a formula, your mind can wander. The words can become automatic. You can say them without really being present. And when that happens, what's blocking you can intercept them. But when you speak directly to him, when you call his name with intention, there's no interception possible. It's too direct, too personal, too immediate. Maria absorbed this. So the Rosary doesn't work. The Rosary works beautifully when you're at peace. When there's no attack. When nothing is blocking you. But when you're under attack, when something is actively trying to stop you from reaching God, you need the most direct weapon. And the most direct weapon is his name. So I should stop praying the Rosary? No. Pray it when you want to deepen your relationship with God, when you want to meditate on his life. But when you need to break through resistance, use his name. Alone, direct, powerful. A month later, a woman came to confession. Father, I've been praying for years. For my marriage, for my children, for everything. But nothing changes. Nothing improves. Why doesn't God hear me? He hears you. But something is blocking you from reaching him. How do you know? Because you feel it. You said it yourself. Nothing changes. That's the sign. When prayers produce no fruit, no change, no movement, often it's not God refusing. It's something intercepting. So what do I do? Stop praying formulas for a while. Stop reciting memorized prayers. Just speak his name. Every time you feel led to pray, say his name. Out loud, with intention. That seems too simple. It's not simple. It's direct. And directness is what breaks through. The woman was quiet. Then, Father, there's something I haven't told anyone. What? My husband, before we married, he was involved in something. Occult things. tarot, seances. He told me he stopped, but I found objects in our house, hidden, in the basement, strange symbols carved into the foundation. I threw them away, but things got worse after that, much worse. Because you challenged what was there without protection. So it's real, there's really something in my house, yes. And it's been blocking your prayers, keeping you from being heard, so you'd give up, so you'd stop trying. That's how it works. And saying his name will stop it, saying his name will pierce through it. It can't block his name, no matter how hard it tries, no matter how strong it is. The woman's voice shook. I'm afraid. Then say his name when you're afraid. That's when it's most powerful. The woman came back a week later. Father, things are different. How? My husband apologized. For the first time in 10 years. He said he doesn't know what came over him, but he wants to change. He wants to go to confession. Did you pray? Every day. Just his name. Like you said. At first, I felt massive resistance. Like something was pushing back hard. I felt pressure in my chest. Headaches. But I kept saying it. And after 3 days, the resistance broke. Completely. It felt like a weight lifted off the entire house. Pio nodded. Because it did. What was blocking you left when it couldn't stop his name anymore? Why can't it stop his name? Because at his name, every knee bows. Philippians says it clearly. In heaven, on earth, and under the earth, everything bows. Even what doesn't want to. Even what refuses. It has no choice. So his name has authority. His name is authority. And authority cannot be blocked, only submitted to. Over the months, Pio taught more people. Some came to him desperate, frustrated, feeling unheard for years. He always asked the same question, what are you praying? And they always gave the same answers. Rosaries, novenas, formulaic prayers. All good, all valid, all powerful in their proper context, but all blockable when someone was under attack. He taught them one thing, say his name, out loud, with intention. Don't recite, don't perform, just call him, like you're calling someone in the next room. Direct, personal, immediate, and they always came back with the same report. It broke through. The resistance is gone. I feel heard now, for the first time in years. One woman asked him, Father, if his name is so powerful, why don't we just pray that all the time? Why do we have the Rosary? Why the Our Father? Why all these other prayers? Pio smiled. Because those prayers are good, they're beautiful, they're meant to deepen your relationship with God, to meditate on his life, to honor his mother. But when you're under attack, when something is actively trying to stop you from reaching him, you need the most direct weapon. And the most direct weapon is his name, spoken, declared, called. So the Rosary is for peace. The name is for war. Exactly. When you're at peace, pray the Rosary, pray novenas, pray litanies. But when you're in battle, use the sword. And his name is the sharpest sword there is. Years later, a young woman came to Pio in distress. Father, I've been praying for months. Nothing is working. I feel like I'm screaming into darkness. What are you praying? Everything. Novenas, rosaries, daily prayers, morning offering, evening prayers. I'm doing everything right, but nothing changes. Are you saying his name? I mention him in my prayers. Of course. That's not what I asked. Are you calling him directly? She looked confused. What's the difference? Mentioning someone and calling someone are different things. Mentioning him can be blocked, calling him cannot. I don't understand. Try this. Right now, out loud, say his name, not in a prayer, not in a sentence, just his name. The woman hesitated, looked around nervously. Right here, yes. She spoke quietly. Jesus. The air in the room shifted. Pio felt it. The woman felt it. Her eyes widened. Say it again, louder. Jesus. Stronger this time. Something broke, visibly. The woman gasped. What was that? That was what's been blocking you. And it can't stay when you call him directly. She started crying. I've been praying for months. Every day, doing everything I thought I was supposed to do. And all I needed was to say his name. Yes. Because you weren't being heard. Not because you were doing something wrong, but because something was stopping your prayers from reaching where they needed to go. Why didn't anyone tell me? Because most people don't know. They think complexity is strength. They think long prayers are more powerful. But sometimes the simplest weapon is the strongest. The woman wiped her eyes. What do I do now? Keep saying it. Every day. When you wake up. When you go to sleep. When you feel resistance. When you feel attack. Just his name. That's your protection. In his final years, Pio thought often about the prayers that didn't rise. about how many people prayed faithfully, desperately, for years, and felt nothing, not because God wasn't listening, but because something was blocking them from being heard, and how the simplest solution, the one most people overlooked, was the most powerful. His name, not in a formula, not in a recitation, just his name, spoken, called, declared, and nothing could block it, nothing, ever. When people asked him about prayer, he always said the same thing: if you feel blocked, if you feel unheard, if your prayers feel heavy and fruitless, stop what you're doing, and speak his name, out loud, with everything you have. Don't whisper it, don't think it, speak it, declare it. That's everything. But what about the Rosary? What about novenas? They're beautiful, pray them when you're at peace. But when you're under attack, use the weapon that can't be blocked, which is his name. At his name, every knee bows, every resistance breaks, every blockage shatters. Even those that refuse, even those that resist, they have no choice. So we should only pray his name? No. But when nothing else is working, when you feel resistance, that's your sign. You're being blocked, and his name is the only thing that breaks through, always, without exception. And that was the truth Padre Pio carried with him. Prayers could be powerful, beautiful, transformative, but they could also be blocked, not by God, by what stood between the person and God. The Rosary could be intercepted, the Our Father could be stopped, even the Hail Mary could be blocked, but one thing couldn't: the name, spoken directly, called intentionally, declared with faith. It pierced through everything, every blockage, every resistance, every attack, because at his name, everything that resists must yield, not because it wants to, but because it has no choice. The name holds authority, and authority cannot be blocked, only submitted to, always.